You hear it all the time. Rock is dead. Rock is stuck in the past. I'm a huge fan of rock, and I agree. It is stuck way too far in the past. My peer, Punk Rock MBA, sent out this tweet, and my first thought is, okay, here's another one of these videos where Finn is giving us the tough medicine, right? But then I realized there is a way in which rock is definitely still very stuck in the past, something that needs to grow out of, and something that it has passed on to hip hop and pop. Rock wants to be the rock stars really bad, and that is the path to death and the path to failure. The current cultural conception of the rock star should die, and with it, the consumerist music-driven industry. Let's dive into it. Really quick, want to give a shout out to my boys over at Hosa, especially you, Dylan. Love you, Dylan. You sexy, ginger, beautiful man. What does Hosa do? They do a bunch of cable stuff. They got accessories. I love them for their cables. My band just got our new in-ear monitor system, which is dope. All of the connections, all of the leads, all Hosa cables. I trust Hosa, especially for my instrument and recording stuff. I love the Edge series. If you think cables are dumb or something you don't need to worry about, you're not a professional. Every single path of the signal chain is important. Making sure all of your shit is clean and well organized is very important. Hosa will help you with those things. I love them. A whole bunch of YouTubers that you know also love them. So again, some love for Hosa. Love you, Dylan. All right, so what is a rock star? Oxford says a person treated as a celebrity, especially an inspiring, fanatical admiration. Their other definition is a famous and successful singer or performer of rock music, but that's not how most people mean it, right? If you live in Oswego and your local cover band is known by the entire town and making a living being that cover band, we wouldn't really consider them a rock star with the cultural lifestyle that's really attached to it. There's a certain elite level of fame, money, and recognition that come along with what we consider being a rock star. So I'll repeat the definition. A person treated as a celebrity, especially in inspiring, fanatical admiration. The rock stars are the ones soaking in the admiration, the glory, getting paid insane amounts of money to do what they love, right? Doing every drug, getting laid by 3 different women every night. Okay, so where in that intensely busy schedule is making music?
The opening track is a second instrumental, technically, and the idea behind that.
What's more important to the rock star, the money and the fame, or the art? Mike, the two go hand in hand. No, the two are diametrically opposed. They can coexist, but with a constant tension. Now, obviously, some rock stars actually write music. Hell, even fewer of them are actually pretty good at it. Even fewer sometimes perform it live once in a while. But that coveted title of rock star, the glamour, the attention, the social hierarchy position, has now left rock and gone squarely into hip hop and pop. And rock artists and rock fans alike are sour about it, downright spiteful. I'll even admit, I used to be that way.
No shit, Sherlock.
Seeing the power of Metallica on stage, especially during the S&M concert, is a large part of why I decided I wanted to be a musician in the first place. Not the most pure motivation and aim. Seeing a documentary on the lifestyle of Motley Crue looked awesome and appeared to have this freeing element to it, what appeared to be freedom. But then you get older and you realize how empty it all is. And we've all seen clips or interviews of older rock stars expressing the same sentiment. But why is it empty? This is where we turn to hedonism, the ethical theory that pleasure, in the sense of the satisfaction of desires, is the highest good and proper aim of human life. Yes, I know there's going to be philosophy experts in my comments saying this isn't real hedonism, just like it isn't real socialism. Regardless of your definition, I think most of us can agree that revolving your life around the chasing and satisfying of carnal pleasures and impulsive behavior is not fulfilling. Why is this carnal, impulsive lifestyle not fulfilling? Because of purpose. What purpose is there to getting laid all the time, being paid insanely well, being famous? it scratches the itch. You are appealing to your most basic animalistic emotions. It is a majority of what we consider our instinct. While this may suffice for other earthly species, sadly, this does not suffice for humans. Humans were both blessed and cursed with the incredibly powerful knowledge acquisition tool known as language. Now, this part of the video is where I'm driving into more radical theory territory, so keep that in mind. Also, yes, this seems like we're going into weird, lofty headspace bullshit, but this does pertain to rock stars. Stay with me. Perlovsky theorizes in his book, Music, Passion, and Cognitive Function, that music is an evolutionary tool exclusive to humans that is used to resolve cognitive dissonances. Because of the acceleration of cognitive dissonances through the knowledge acquisition tool of language, we needed music to compensate for that. It was such a powerful tool for knowledge acquisition that it threw our psyches out of balance. This has to do with the processes of knowledge instinct, that being differentiation and synthesis. We don't have remotely enough time to dive into that. Just remember that music was an evolutionary compensation. Where language is extremely semantic, literal, concrete, music is far more emotional and what we perceive as ambiguous, but what we can't do is put specific words to it. Definitionally ambiguous. Again, I know there's people in the comments being like, well, what about the gem scale? The gem scale is a great starting point that points you in the direction where the actual musical emotions are happening. These music emotions are a part of aesthetic emotions that encompass a ton of feelings we can't put exact verbiage to. Perlovsky argues that aesthetic emotions are the origins of meaning. These aesthetic emotions cannot be accessed in any significant way through satisfying base needs and instincts alone. We need more. We need something beautiful, something we can conceptualize as perfect, as an ideal that we can chase towards. You might be able to call this inspiration. We need a reason to do the things that we do beyond carnal satisfaction. Regardless of your philosophy, this is a fact. This is a human necessity. Seeing a rock star on stage is a visual embodiment of these aesthetic emotions taking form right before us. The rock star having the choice of the hottest people to bang, the best drugs to use, being financially free is a representation of power. Power is something that we believe will make us free, at least freer than we currently are. But like many other things in show business, they're all lies. What you see is merely a part of the show. It is not reality. If the rock star makes the show all that their life is, they wallow in misery, seeking the next best thing that scratches the itch, further helping them forget what purpose they are avoiding. The rock star is not, however, a wholly evil embodiment. I think there is a good use for the rock star. We need heroes we can look up to. We need a visual component to accessing the aesthetic emotions. We need a visual representation of something that makes us strive to be more. The rock star can stay, but only if it is publicly acknowledged it's a show. We should take that representation for what it is, aesthetic, not substance. About to make a controversial statement here. Music is the substance of music, not the culture, not the look, not the dream of having millions of dollars or millions of adoring fans. How are your rock stars serving others? Is it by creating envy of a lifestyle? Or is it by helping individuals resolve their cognitive dissonances created by language? In that regard, yes, absolutely, rock is stuck in the past. Rock wants its time in the spotlight again. It wants to reclaim the mantle of rock star. The reason why rock sounds so dead and uninspired is because it's still trying to use the same old tricks that got them to rock stardom in the first place, when the landscape of the game of fame and riches has completely changed culturally. It's embarrassing it's cringy. Like our wiser former rock stars, we have an opportunity to learn from this wisdom we've gained and create a better music culture. One that's focused on serving rather than self-enrichment. One that's focused on art instead of clout chasing. Rock is stuck chasing the past because it sold out its future for a bump of coke and an alleyway blowjob. If you're wondering about more specifics on this topic, frankly, so am I. I haven't finished the Perlovsky book yet, I'm still working on it, and I've been meaning to make a video on the differences between artists and clout chasers, acknowledging that clout chasers are a massive poison to today's industry, and looking at it not as there's one or the other, but we all lie on a spectrum of the two. The video is getting far too convoluted, so I decided to make a podcast. I'm not fully decided on the title yet, but for now, I believe it's going to be What Makes an Artist. I'll be speaking with a bunch of people you'll most likely know and a bunch of people you most likely won't. But you can be sure that I'm going to continue this journey of trying to discover meaning and purpose for musicians and what music is. Join me on this podcast and future videos, and let's learn together.